banned before was the Rakan. Gets rid of that for what the Jess, and now they have that option again. They're looking to pick up the Xayah Rakan. It's a powerful duo in the bottom side. If they do look to execute this though, this means we should be seeing a bit more utility in the mid lane. Could look to see something like the Ziggs come through, so I'm hopeful the SAIGON Phantoms are going to be able to address this, kick that away, grab the Ziggs, maybe something like and maybe bring an assassin in the mid lane as well.
I actually thought SAIGON Phantom was gonna pick up Ziggs to try and deny it for INVATE Esports, but I thought they just picked up this Akshan as well as a Leona. So they want to see INVATE Esports down. I mean, they have a bird, you also have a bug. That's a lot of damage flying right at your face, and a Fox to top it off.
Alright, interesting choice here. You go all in. Get Belby on that army, why don't you? You know, we saw an interesting game from him with the brand. Wasn't quite the performance he was looking for. He had a really good one, Twisted Fate, before. So now they're gonna grab the Ahri, let him play the game that he wants to play, go aggressive, play towards that side of the map. Just like Kaze, play the safe side, not have to worry all too much, but that does leave things wondering for me. Cold Feet now in this assassin. Does this mean we're just gonna see Cat Type back in game 1 playing that safe that safe tank bracket? So you're gonna go for a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna go towards a bit more damage. I mean, you already have a lot of damage in your face, and INVATE Esports, they really do not want to push this series to a game number 5. So I say, at this point, go all in.
All right. Well, we got our wish, didn't we? We really did get our wish here, Grandin, of saying remove the Twisted Fate, but it did open the floodgates. Much to your then key point about that is that the assassins, especially the stealth assassins, would be high priority. So given that the Kha'Zix was that first pick, it almost felt inevitable that SAIGON had to pick up the Akali as a response.
Yeah, I think we pretty much wrapped it up here for picks and bans going into game number 4, and it's an interesting one to start here. Looking at the picks and bans, things are shaping up pretty spicy. I think that we have seen INVATE get back on form, but SAIGON Phantoms have something to prove. That being said, we're going to toss it over to our casters to bring this game away.
Thank you very much, Grandin. As we do get into the action, we got one more draft completed. Game number 4 between INVATE and SAIGON Phantoms. SAIGON Phantoms still one win away from closing out the day. Or sorry, INVATE 1 game away from closing out the day. SAIGON 1 game away from game number 5. Keeping us here for a little bit longer. My name is TJ, joined by Omo. Omo put his suit jacket back on. Not on camera, he just wanted to feel good.
You gotta get into the right state of mind, right? For us and for these players. I mean, what was I telling you just now, TJ? Do you remember when we were discussing what the game plan is for the next game? Absolutely not, right? Okay, so INVATE, basically, they're coming to this game. They say, we need to first pick TF. We are gonna pick blue side. They pick blue side, and what does SAIGON Phantom do? They identified that TF is OP in this series because both of these teams have bad macro. Ban away the TF, and that's gonna be it. This is the first real match that I think we're gonna see because there's no Twisted Fate. This is an even playing ground, and they're trying to cheese the Ahri to start things off.
Oh, Belby nearly falls for it. SAIGON Phantoms have gone for the hyper late game draft again, running the Akshan, Olaf, Akali in what is kind of a run back of last game, at least spiritually. Yeah, INVATE, it seems like, are focusing on the picks, focusing on the individual duels.
It is kind of a run back of the previous game. You swap both junglers, but I think the important thing to keep note of is Fizz is a far cry from Twisted Fate. And in fact, Fizz is probably the furthest you can really get from Twisted Fate. TF lets you cheat the map. TF lets you make up for your bad macro. Fizz does none of those things. He's just really, really good at killing people. That's the one thing he does. And we see it already. He's doing a lot of damage here to Belby. And since that's the only thing he can provide, he's going to need to do a really good job of that. And SAIGON Phantom, they're going to have to brush up on their macro this game.
Gunner, I
like that. Did you see what the Jets did? Did you see what he just did?
Yeah, denied their honey fruit as what he just walked in behind them. AOHK would like some punishment for that, and he walks forward. Gunner follows up there. Kaze very low, but Cold Feet's in the area, so AOHK may be dead to this. Into the bush, he is. There's nothing Gunner can do.
And it all starts off with the honey fruit. What the Jazz playing a bit of mind games here, getting into the heads of AOHK, saying, you know what, I'm gonna use all my spells. You guys think you can all in me? Guess what? My jungler's behind me. And Golden Feet comes here in the nick of time to save his teammates. Barrier does get popped for Kaze. Heal does get popped for What the Jazz. A lot committed for that kill, but they pick it up. And now they're gonna try to collapse on Blake.
Yeah, trying to move in on Blake, who did just steal away a blue buff.
Yep.
Golden Feet jumps over the wall.
Out of frustration.
All right, I can at least have my grump.
At least. And I don't know if you know this, TJ, but down here in Southeast Asia, frog is a bit of a delicacy.
Really?
Yeah, it is. We eat it in porridge. It's delicious. You should try it sometime.
How does that relate?
The grump is a frog. It's a giant toad.
No, it is
No way. No way you don't know this. It's a giant toad.
How is the grump a frog?
Okay, in the event that I'm wrong, let's just pretend this never happened, but I feel like it might
round and furry. What?
It's a big furry frog.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I kind of want to attempt to Google this, but I think we're seeing a pretty interesting situation right now with the beasts.
We can be sure, right.
I don't want to because I don't want to know if I'm right or wrong. If I
When we have a
Google it,
moment,
if I'm
observers,
wrong,
please show us a grump. Anyway.
just pull up a graphic of a grump really quickly. But yeah, Gunner there, very cheeky. Cancels double recalls. Let's just change the topic completely in the event that I was wrong. We're going to see a bit of aggressive mid lane movements from Belby since he has the priority this game. I would say that he's kind of playing a TF substitute, right? You have 3 dashes to get around the map. You one-shot minion waves. It's about as close as you can get. That might be a bit of a reach, just like my frog point, but that's fine.
I mean, the problem that happens for Belby here is that Goni hard counters him,
Yes,
right? Fizz is really good into Aura because you can dodge that charm, because you can take the fight and just pump out more damage.
Dodge everything, really, but 3-man minion.
LB baits the play, follows up, Goni
Nice.
flashes to avoid, and is hard punished as Belby calls in the reinforcements, and the set execution is perfect for INVATE. They are up 1k gold, up a kill as the first Drake spawns.
Yeah, TJ, and you were saying how it's a counter pick. I agree with you. It is a counter pick, but you can't counter 3 people. Very nice play from Goni to start that one off with the play from Trickster. Still has his first skill, uses that back on the minion wave to get out of trouble. Or at least he tries to, right? But What the Jazz is here. And what do we always talk about? We always make the same point with INVATE Esports, right? Who are the ones making moves on their team? It's Golden Feet in tandem with What the Jazz, and that's exactly what we see here. Saigon Phantom, they did really good in the last game, banning away the Rakan. I feel like that's by far What the Jazz's best champion. Trash is a bait pick in my opinion. I feel like it's just not a good champion. And we see what happens when he didn't have it. This time though, Saigon didn't have the bans. They're going to try to make a bit of a play here, but it's just going to get answered.
They do get a turret plate from that exchange, so a little bit more gold in the Saigon pocket. Let's slow down here a bit, Grant, and talk about the state of the map as we enter into the mid-game around this 5-minute mark.
EJ, I caught you Skimmy, you caught me Grandin. I think we're even now. You did actually.
It's
been a long day. I get it.
For those of you who don't know, I live in California, and I woke up to do this at 8 p.m. last night. It is now 8 a.m. and we're going. Dive character wants to trigger his
what's
passive.
this, TJ?
We're back into it.
We're right back into it.
Ignite will burn away and kill What the Jazz. But as I was saying, the Akshan really just wants to sustain damage in the back of fights, like he's doing right now in the bottom lane, taking a turret in exchange for the turret being taken up in the top lane. So it will be a first turret break to INVATE, giving them a little bit more gold, but not much more. And most importantly, all of the gold that Saigon Phantoms just got went into Gunner.
Indeed, a lot of gold into Gunner is going to be great for sure because like you mentioned, right, he does have the ability to play front to back in team fights, not if he gets jumped on.
Oh, he just tries to recall in the middle of the lane.
Yes, he has a stealth, he has a grappling hook.
Not anymore, he doesn't.
He'll have it in 8 seconds. It's not the end of the world just yet. Has a decent chunk of gold. He's still decently ahead of Kazatar. I think that's nice to have. I do want to... Okay, without going into too much detail. Okay, the teams are just not going to let us talk here. Trump top 1v1. That's it.
Yeah, a little bit of poke up on the top side. Nothing much will come from it. Let's reset a little bit as Saigon Phantoms are down 1k in gold and INVATE are earning out a slight lead.
Yes, they are, and a lot of that goal came from the Rift Herald play, right? It broke the first turret of the game up in the Baron lane, and that's going to be a nice influx of gold. I do want to point out, Kha'Zix is traditionally regarded as kind of counter pick towards Olaf, right? So 1,000 gold up, having these items in his pocket, it's so easy for him to pop the GA, coming out of the bush a little bit early there, Cold and Feet.
Yeah. I think they didn't know there was a rotate coming up. They would have taken a bonus if somebody had wandered up to defend the turret. Nobody did in time, and therefore INVATE just take the turret. I'll be quite all right with that, though. Timing the push out of the bush perfectly with the wave crashing. It's a little bit more gold into the INVATE pocket as their lead grows in what could be the final game of the series.
It could definitely be, and I think that INVATE, it could be the game for them to demonstrate that they deserve to still be alive in this tournament. Without the TF crutch, we really need to see what they can do across the map.
We do have a dragon coming up right about now, 20 seconds away, and it's an Infernal Drake, so quite an important one as well. Should Saigon fight for this?
That's a very difficult question to answer, TJ. I say yes. Their team comp needs to find these avenues and they need to find these early fights. Not if this happens, though.
No, not like this. AOHK has to burn Flash to survive. And that's going to be kind of hurtful coming into this fight. AOHK is not going to have time to reset. Explosive Cask doesn't find much. AOHK still got the Solar Flare to deploy. Drake down to half HP. 3,000. Resetting. Here's the flank from Belby down mid. Keep your eye on that, but it doesn't find anything. What the Jess? Looking for an angle. He goes in. What an engage. What the Jess cleans up the fight before it begins. Gunner flees for his life down the mid lane. Drake will be started and taken by INVATE, and the Saigon Phantoms are destroyed outside the Dragon Pit.
And they want more.
Yeah, Gunner just wandering. I'm not entirely sure why he was still in the mid lane, but he'll pay for it with his life. Golden Feet just eats him up.
Eats him up indeed, as if he was a tasty frog porridge as well. This Akshan is not going to be having a great game. 0 and 2, you need to be snowballing with Akshan. You need to be winning skirmishes. Sure, you raised a good point, right? He can team fight, he can front to back. Look for the opportunity to find the timing to dive into the team fight. But you're never gonna outrun Azaya in front to back team fights. It's looking disastrous for the Saigon Phantoms. And if we bring it back to the last Dragon team fight, a lot of that came from What the Jazz and his Rakan. And I want to bring up a point with that, TJ. This Rakan pick seems to be the ace for INVATE. Rakan and TF. My question though is, have they shown too much? You have to think about the play-ins as well as the whole C champs. It's a marathon, it's not a race. You have to win multiple series to qualify for the main stage, and then you have to play even more to get out of the main stage groups. I do believe Blake is going to get popped.
I think it's a good point that you're raising, though, because having to go this late in a series, an elimination series, pull out all the stops this early in a tournament, means the people you're facing later on are going to be able to look back at this series and see what your fallback is when you're up against the wire. Prep for that.
Exactly. And if I was either Flash Wolves or Fano Adversity, the loser of that match will play against INVATE. Trump top? The goals give it away.
Dive will happen up here on the top side. Here's Gunner on the flank, charmed by the quickness, but dealing damage onto What the Jazz. Cat type dropped low as well. This could be big for Saigon, but they can't follow up. And now Golden Feet's looking for a play as Kaze arrives into this fight. Gunner chews away at What the Jazz is HP, but can't finish the kill. And Kaze is absolutely melting people. He'll find 2 kills, and Saigon Phantoms are destroyed in the top lane, picked off in the bottom lane, and down 3 kills.
Across the board, things just going badly for the Saigon Phantoms. It starts with a catch. That's been the name of this game. It always starts with a pick. It always starts with a catch, and it always comes from a Golden Feet as well as What the Jazz. Look at this. This was a really nice prediction off the backflip from the Akali. Really good stuff from What the Jazz. And look at Look at Akshan. Look at how useless this champion is when you don't have a lead and when you have to just stay back in DPS. Your range is so short. Every Gragas Cask, every Xayah Feather is going to be landing on you if you try to DPS. And you just never out DPS a Xayah at this point in the game. So there's just so many problems here for SGP. They need Goni as well as Akali, Trump top, to find angles, kill Xayah, kill Kha'Zix, kill Ahri. Too many targets.
Yeah, 5 of them, if I'm being mathematical.
Sure, what the Jess as well has the force of nature.
You do have the Elder Drake coming up as well, so there's a ticking clock. Saigon have to find something in now, which is perhaps why Blake steps up to fight for his Raptors.
Just disasters. It's just everywhere. Everything is going wrong. They're blowing everything. They're not finding anything. Perfect execution used as well as Ragnarok. How can they contest this?
Yeah, 19 seconds away, and their jungler is recalling. So it's going to be very hard for Saigon to get in on this Elder Drake, which is game deciding.
It is indeed, and honestly, with your jungler not having Ragnarok, not having GAs, it's going to be so hard for him to get into this fight. Think back to the last 2 Dragon setups. Every time you come here late, INVATE are camping for you. It's going to be the same thing again.
And so, they're gonna take a swing. Saigon collapse instead on cat type, looking maybe for this Baron. They do not move fast enough. Elder is picked up, and INVATE are looking for a play.
Jess.
What the Jet leans forward, finds a double with this, and with the explosive cast over the top, cat types found Gunner. There's no AD carrying for Saigon, and there's no jungler either. Black One's picked up as well. Saigon lose their 2 key carries right as this Baron fight begins, with the Elder already in INVATE's hands.
And it's going to be a Baron as well. They want more kills too.
Dive in. Goni into stasis, Belby matches inside the smoke veil. Trump's finally able to get something back. A 3v2 goes against INVATE, but the Baron does not. It'll be picked up. Cold and V goes over the wall as well. Feeling a little frisky before INVATE back off.
Yeah, not sure if they wanted to go in or get out right there, but it's fine because INVATE, they take a huge dub in that situation. We keep stressing on this point. Akshan does not scale. His range is too short. He needs to find leads through skirmishing, and we saw exactly why. His range of effectiveness, it's so tiny that what the Jess didn't even need Flash to get on top of him, and we saw in the last couple of games as well. Sometimes on this Rakan, what the Jess goes in too deep. This time he has to follow up. Cat type with the massive explosive cask to just alley-oop Gunner right back into his team. Cold and V cleans that one up. Brilliant team fight from INVATE. One of the best I've seen from them this series.
Yeah, they took a little bit of a break, a little bit of a reset in between games here. And it feels like that did make the difference for INVATE.
Yeah, honestly, I think it did. And I love the touch with Spooky Ghost as well, to just look for these possible flanks.
Yeah, AOHK hunted by the Shadow Boots enchant there. They know exactly where he is. This Solar Flare spent defensively to try and stall the play, and it does, but the mid-turret is still melting, burning. As the dive comes in, AOHK is dropped down, burns to death, explosive cat hunts him down, and it sets up for the kill onto Gunner again, as INVATE march down the mid lane. A 2-player advantage, a dive behind the inhibitor. Trum's kind of got to save this all by himself, and I don't see it happening. This might be INVATE blocking Saigon Phantom out of this bracket, out of their SEA championship. They're sieging the Nexus. Trum dives past the team. He can't do anything. 570, it's gone! And Saigon Phantoms from Vietnam are